The pharmacist at Walgreens looked at me like I was already dead. "Mrs. Hutchins, this is the 4th time this month you've refilled these nausea pills," she said, scanning the bottle. "Have you seen a specialist?" I gripped the counter, my hands trembling so bad I could barely hold my purse. "My doctor says it's just stress." She lowered her voice. "Ma'am, these symptoms you're describing, the shaking, the confusion, the vomiting, that's not stress. That's poisoning." I laughed, actually laughed, because who poisons a 64-year-old retired librarian in Savannah, Georgia? Who poisons someone who spent 38 years making pot roast every Sunday and ironing her husband's shirts? By the next morning, I'd find out exactly who. And baby, when I didn't just flip the table, I burned the whole damn house down. If you're ready for the most satisfying revenge story you'll hear all year, hit that subscribe button right now. Drop a F in the comments if you're already hooked. Trust me, you'll want to see how this ends. My name is Barbara Jean Hutchins, and I should have known something was wrong when my daughter Heather moved back home. Not because she was 38 and divorced. Lord knows half of Chatham County's got adult children back in the nest these days. No, I should have known because Heather had never actually liked me. Growing up, that girl looked at me like you'd look at a piece of furniture. Necessary, functional, completely replaceable. But when she showed up at my Whitaker Street Victorian 6 months ago, mascara running, designer luggage in tow, crying about her cheating banker husband in Charlotte, mama instinct kicked in. I held her, made her pecan pie, set up her old bedroom with fresh Wamsuta sheets. I'm not an idiot. I'm just a woman who spent 38 years believing family meant something. The midnight visits started 2 weeks after Heather moved in. Every night, like clockwork, at 11 p.m., I'd hear my husband Robert's footsteps creaking past our bedroom, down the hall, straight to Heather's room. The door would click shut. Sometimes I'd hear whispers, sometimes papers rustling. Always, always locked. The first night I told myself he was just checking on her, being a good daddy. The second week I told myself they were probably just talking, planning her next steps. By month 2, I couldn't lie to myself anymore. My husband was sneaking into our daughter's bedroom every single night, and something about it made my skin crawl. But here's what really got me. I started getting sick. Not flu sick, not cancer sick, dying sick. It started subtle. I'd pour my morning coffee, and my hand would shake so violently I'd spill it all over my grandmother's tablecloth. I'd walk into the kitchen and forget why I went in there. Stand there like a fool, staring at my own refrigerator like it was a spaceship. The nausea hit next. Every afternoon around 2 p.m., my stomach would revolt like I'd eaten rotten shrimp. I'd spend 20 minutes in the bathroom, dry heaving, my whole body shaking. Dr. Marcus Peterson, been my doctor for 15 years, ran test after test, blood work, CT scans, even sent me to a neurologist. "Everything's normal, Barbara," he said, patting my hand like I was a confused child. "Probably just anxiety. Have you considered stress management? Maybe some yoga?" Yoga, while my insides were dissolving. Meanwhile, Heather started making this special sweet tea for me, said it was an old recipe from her Charlotte neighbor, supposed to help with nausea, brought it to me every afternoon in my favorite crystal glass, the one my mama left me. "Drink up, Mom," she'd say, smiling that smile that never quite reached her eyes. "You need your strength." And I drank it every single day. Because that's what trusting people do. We drink the poison our own children serve us and say, "Thank you, sweetheart." The breaking point came on a Tuesday in October.
I was in the kitchen making dinner, my famous low country boil, Robert's favorite, when I heard them through the heating vent. The old Victorians got this quirk where sound travels through the air ducts like a telephone system. Usually I heard nothing interesting. Toilet flushes, phone calls, Heather's terrible taste in reality TV. But that Tuesday, I heard my husband's voice say, "Once the deed transfers, we can move forward with the timeline." My wooden spoon stopped mid-stir. Heather's response came crystal clear. "How much longer? I'm tired of playing Daughter of the Year. This sweet tea routine is exhausting." "The attorney says 2 more weeks. Just keep doing what you're doing. She's declining right on schedule." Declining? The room spun. I gripped the counter, my heart hammering so loud I thought it might explode through my chest. They weren't talking about selling the house. They were talking about me dying on schedule. I looked down at the crystal glass on the counter, the one that Heather had brought me 20 minutes earlier, still half full of that special sweet tea. And I finally understood. My daughter wasn't making me tea. She was making me a corpse. I didn't sleep that night. Couldn't. Just lay there in bed next to Robert, listening to him snore like he didn't have a care in the world, while my mind raced through 38 years of marriage trying to find the moment I missed, the moment he decided I was disposable. At 6 a.m., I got up and drove straight to Target, bought a nanny cam, one of those fancy ones disguised as a phone charger. Then I stopped at Books A Million and picked up Southern Garden Techniques, a book so boring even I wouldn't read it. Back home, I hollowed out the book, installed the camera, and placed it on Heather's bookshelf between her collection of self-help books with titles like Living Your Best Life and Manifesting Abundance. The irony wasn't lost on me. "Mom, what are you doing in here?" Heather appeared in the doorway, yoga pants and a tank top, looking like butter wouldn't melt in her mouth. "Just bringing you this gardening book I finished," I said, my voice steady as Sunday church. "Thought you might like it. Lots of tips about growing things." She barely glanced at it. "Thanks. Hey, want me to make you some lunch?" "No, thank you, sweetheart. I'm meeting Patricia for lunch at the old Pink House." Lie. I was going home to watch my daughter try to kill me in real time. That first night's footage almost stopped my heart. 11:03 p.m. Robert enters Heather's room carrying a small duffel bag. 11:05. He pulls out 3 bottles, labeled as antifreeze, marine grade, ethylene glycol. 11:08 p.m. Heather holds up a Tupperware container. Robert pours carefully, measuring with a medicine dropper. 2 milliliters. Precise. Practiced. 11:12 p.m. Heather writes on the container with a Sharpie. "Mom's sweet tea mix. Special recipe." They both laugh. Actually, laugh. "Robert, how's she doing?" "Heather, shaken like a leaf. Threw up twice today. Dr. Peterson says all her tests are normal." Robert, "Peterson's good for that. Been using him for years." Been using him for years. I had to pause the video, run to the bathroom, vomit until there was nothing left. Dr. Marcus Peterson, the man I'd trusted with my health for 15 years, who'd seen me through pneumonia and my hysterectomy and Robert's heart scare, he was helping them kill me? I went back to the footage, watched the rest through tears that felt like acid. 11:20 p.m. Heather pulls out a folder. "I talked to the realtor today. Stacy says we can list the house for $2.8 million once the death certificate is processed." Robert, "And the life insurance?" Heather, $500,000, plus the Fernandina Beach property, plus the investment accounts. She grins. "We're looking at about $4.2 million total." Robert kisses her forehead, not a father's kiss, something else, something that made my blood run cold. Robert, "Your real mama would be so proud. Your real mama." The room tilted sideways. I rewound, watched it again. "Your real mama would be so proud." 11:25 p.m.
Heather laughs, this horrible tinkling laugh like breaking glass. I still can't believe she doesn't know. 38 years, Daddy. 38 years she raised your mistress's kid like I was hers. My hand flew to my mouth. Robert, best decision I ever made bringing you to her when Vivian died. Made everything so much easier. Heather, 2 wives down, 1 to go. Then we're free. 2 wives down. I stopped the recording, sat in the dark of my home office, the one Robert had built me for my 50th birthday, and let that sink in. Robert had done this before. Heather, who wasn't even mine, who I'd raised from a 3-month infant like she came out of my own body, except she didn't, was somehow part of this pattern. And I was next on their production line. Y'all still with me? Because this is where Barbara Jean stops being a victim and becomes a problem. If you're ready to see how this plays out, drop a comment telling me what you would do with this footage. And hit that subscribe button because you're not gonna want to miss the next part. I didn't cry, didn't scream, didn't confront them. I did something smarter. I called my nephew, Curtis Brennan, investigative journalist for the Savannah Morning News, won a state press award last year for exposing corruption in the school board. Aunt Barb, you okay? It's 6 a.m.
Curtis, baby, I need you to dig up everything you can find on Robert Hutchins' previous marriages. Every detail, every death certificate, every autopsy report, and I need it yesterday. Silence. Then, what's going on? Just trust me. And Curtis, don't tell your mama. Don't tell anyone. I hung up before he could ask questions. Next call, Patricia Russo, estate attorney. We'd been friends since high school, back when we were both poor girls from the wrong side of Victory Drive, dreaming of better lives. Patricia, I need to rewrite my will today, and I need you to keep it completely confidential. Can you come to the Whitaker Street house at 2 p.m.? Barbara, what's wrong? Everything. Absolutely everything. I spent the morning documenting. Downloaded all the camera footage onto 3 separate USB drives, printed bank statements showing the $89,000 that had mysteriously transferred from my accounts to Heather's over the past 6 months, found the property transfer papers Robert had forged my signature on, and I kept drinking the sweet tea. Every afternoon, when Heather brought me that crystal glass, I'd smile and take it to my lips, but I'd pour it into the fake plant in the corner the moment she left. That fake ficus saved my life, started dying, leaves turning brown and crispy, while I started feeling better. Curtis called back at noon. Aunt Barb, you sitting down? Tell me. Robert's first wife, Jennifer Morrison, died in 1985, 41 years old. Cause of death? Acute renal failure. No autopsy performed. Robert inherited her family's antique furniture business in Atlanta. My hand gripped the phone so tight my knuckles went white. Curtis continued. Second wife, Amanda Preston, died in 2001, 53 years old. Cause of death? Heart failure complicated by acute kidney disease. Again, no autopsy. Robert inherited her Fernandina Beach vacation home and $300,000 life insurance policy. Let me guess. Dr. Marcus Peterson signed both death certificates. How did you? Yes, both times. Both times. And one more thing, Aunt Barb. I found Heather's original birth certificate. Mother's name? Vivian Hutchins. Father? Robert Hutchins. Born January 15, 1987. Not Barbara Jean Hutchins, just Vivian Hutchins. The world stopped spinning. Who's Vivian? Robert's mistress during his marriage to Amanda. Died in a car accident 3 months after Heather was born in April 1987. Looks like Robert brought the baby to you, and you married him shortly after. Aunt Barb, what's going on? I told him everything. Every poisoned glass of tea, every midnight visit, every word from that camera footage. When I finished, Curtis was silent for a full minute. Then, we're not going to the police. What? They've been doing this for 40 years, Aunt Barb, with a doctor covering for them, with forged documents and no autopsies. The Savannah PD will drag their feet. No, we're going bigger. We're going federal. Federal? And mail fraud, wire fraud, multiple murders across state lines. That's FBI territory, and I've got contacts. He paused. But first, we need more evidence. Can you keep that camera rolling? Curtis, they're trying to kill me. I know, but you're not drinking the tea anymore, right? You're safe. We just need enough to bury them so deep they never see daylight again. I thought about it. About 38 years of making pot roast and ironing shirts and raising another woman's child. About Jennifer Morrison and Amanda Preston, two women who died alone and confused, just like I almost did. Let's bury them. The FBI believed me. Special Agent Keisha Williams sat in my living room 3 days later, watching the camera footage with the kind of cold fury that made me grateful she was on my side. Mrs. Hutchins, this is one of the most brazen cases I've seen in 15 years, she said, pausing the video on Robert's face as he measured out poison. We're going to get them. All of them. But we need your cooperation. Anything. Keep acting normal. Keep taking the tea. I'm not drinking that. Keep taking it, she corrected. Pour it out. But make them think everything's progressing as planned. Can you do that? I thought about it. About Jennifer Morrison. About Amanda Preston. Two women who died alone and confused, just like I almost did. Let's bury them. Agent Williams set up surveillance. Tiny cameras in every room, audio recording devices, a whole team monitoring my house 24/7 from an unmarked van parked 3 blocks away on Jones Street. Patricia rewrote my will, left everything to the Savannah Humane Society and a scholarship fund for underprivileged girls. Robert and Heather, not one red cent. And Curtis? Curtis started writing the article that would end them. Meanwhile, I played my part. I got sicker, started using a cane, let my hand shake more when I poured coffee, stayed in bed until noon. Heather ate it up. Mom, maybe we should look at assisted living facilities, she suggested one morning, bringing me tea with that snake smile, just to get you the care you need. Maybe you're right, sweetheart. I don't want to be a burden. The look that crossed her face, pure satisfaction, almost made me break character and slap it right off. Dr. Peterson made a home call, actually stood in my bedroom and listened to my heart while knowing he was helping poison it. Your vitals are concerning, Barbara. I'm increasing your dosage. More pills to make me sicker, more ways to justify my eventual natural death. I took the ball, flushed every single one down the toilet the moment he left. Halloween came. I insisted on giving out candy to the neighborhood kids, even though Heather said I was too weak. I've given out candy on the street for 38 years. I'm not stopping now. What she didn't know was that Agent Williams and her team were photographing every single visitor to our house, building a timeline, documenting everything. November arrived cold and crisp. Robert started talking about Thanksgiving.
Maybe we should skip it this year, Barb, he said over breakfast. You're not feeling well. Nonsense. I'm making turkey and all the fixins'. It might be my last Thanksgiving. His eyes lit up. Actually lit up. Don't talk like that, honey. I'm being realistic, Robert. We should also talk about funeral arrangements, my will, making sure everything is in order. That night's camera footage showed them celebrating. Heather opening a bottle of champagne. She said it herself, her last Thanksgiving. It's almost over. Robert, 2 more weeks, maybe 3. The dosage Peterson gave her will accelerate things.
Heather. And then? And then we're millionaires, baby girl, free and clear. They toasted. To my death. Agent Williams showed me the footage the next morning. "We've got enough," she said. "Wire fraud, attempted murder, conspiracy, falsifying medical records." And Curtis found something else. What? Jennifer Morrison's family never stopped looking for answers. They've agreed to exhume her body. Same with the man to Preston's brother. We're talking murder charges dating back 40 years. My hands started shaking, but this time not from poison, from rage. "When?" She said, "Thanksgiving Day. We'll let them think they've won, let them have their turkey and their champagne, and then," she smiled, "and then we serve them their last free meal." I made the best damn turkey of my life that Thanksgiving. Herb roasted, golden brown, with my mama's famous cornbread dressing and cranberry sauce made from scratch. Sweet potato casserole with the little marshmallows on top, the way Heather liked it. Green bean casserole, pecan pie. A feast fit for a condemned prisoner, because that's exactly what they were. Robert carved the turkey at the head of the table, playing patriarch, while Heather served me an extra large glass of sweet tea. "Drink up, Mom," she said. "You need your strength." I raised the glass, took a delicate sip, let a little dribble down my chin. "Sorry," I mumbled, "my hands." "It's okay," Robert said, patting my shoulder with fake sympathy. "We're here for you." We ate, talked about nothing. Robert told stories about his Navy days, probably all lies. Heather talked about maybe moving back to Charlotte once things settled down. Once I was dead, she meant. At exactly 2:47 p.m., there was a knock at the door. "I'll get it," Robert said, annoyed at the interruption. He opened the door to find Special Agent Keisha Williams, flanked by 6 FBI agents, all wearing bulletproof vests with that beautiful yellow FBI stamped across them. "Robert Hutchins, Heather Hutchins, you're under arrest for attempted murder, conspiracy to commit murder, wire fraud, and mail fraud." The look on their faces. I wish I'd had that on camera. Robert went pale. "What? This is insane! Barbara, tell them!" I stood up, slowly, took off the reading glasses I'd been wearing for effect, straightened my posture, and smiled. "Tell them what, Robert? That you've been poisoning me for 6 months? That Heather isn't actually my daughter? That you murdered your previous wives for their money?" Heather's glass of champagne hit the floor. How do I know?" I walked over to the bookshelf, pulled down that Southern Garden Techniques book, opened it to reveal the camera. "Baby, I've been recording every single midnight visit for 3 months. Every drop of poison, every word of your disgusting plan." Agent Williams pulled out handcuffs. "You have the right to stay silent." "Wait!" Heather screamed. "Mom, please, you raised me. I'm sorry." "You're sorry you got caught," I said coldly. "And I didn't raise my daughter. I raised Vivian, Hutchins' daughter, while your daddy murdered his way through wives like I was some kind of free nanny service." Robert lunged at me. "You ungrateful—" 3 agents tackled him to my grandmother's Persian rug. As they dragged them both out, Robert still screaming, Heather crying these fake crocodile tears, Agent Williams turned to me. "Dr. Marcus Peterson was arrested an hour ago. The medical board's already pulled his license. He's facing 15 counts of falsifying death certificates and accessory to murder." Curtis appeared in the doorway, camera around his neck, notebook in hand. "The story runs tomorrow, Aunt Barb. Front page. Savannah's Black Widow scheme exposed. FBI arrests husband and stepdaughter in 40-year murder plot." I sank into my chair, the adrenaline finally wearing off. Is it over? It's over. The trial took 8 months. Jennifer Morrison and Amanda Preston were exhumed. Both had died from ethylene glycol poisoning. Tissue samples and bone marrow still showed elevated calcium oxalate crystals and kidney damage consistent with antifreeze poisoning, even after all these years. Dr. Peterson had deliberately ignored and falsified every test. Robert got life without parole, so did Heather. Dr. Peterson got 30 years, lost his medical license, his pension, everything. The assets they'd been counting on, the Whitaker Street house, the Fernandina Beach property, the investment accounts, I redirected every single one, sold it all, and donated the proceeds to the Savannah Humane Society and created the Jennifer Morrison and Amanda Preston Memorial Scholarship Fund for women over 50 going back to school. I sold that Victorian, too many ghosts, bought a cute little bungalow in Tybee Island, got myself a rescue dog named Justice, learned to paint, and every single afternoon at 2 p.m., I make myself a glass of sweet tea. Real sweet tea, the kind that doesn't kill you, the kind that tastes like second chances and freedom. I'm 65 years old. I've got my health back. My nephew Curtis won a Pulitzer for his investigation. My real friends never left my side. And somewhere in a federal prison, 2 monsters are learning that poison always comes back around. Heather wrote me a letter last month, begging for forgiveness, saying she was young and manipulated by Robert, saying she always loved me deep down. I burned it without reading past the first line. Because here's what I learned. Blood doesn't make you family. 38 years of pot roasts and birthday cakes and bedtime stories don't make you family either. Love makes you family. Loyalty makes you family. And poison? Poison unmakes everything. If this story had you on the edge of your seat, do me a favor. Subscribe so you never miss another story like this. Drop a comment and tell me, should Barbara Jean have read that letter, or was burning it the right move? And if you learned anything from this story, it's this. Trust your gut. Always. Because sometimes the poison isn't in the tea, it's sitting at your own table. Y'all stay safe out there, and remember, karma might be slow, but she's always on time.